For our group's project for the sustainable solutions, we decided to do it on the sunscreen pollution affecting the coral reefs. What is biodiversity and sustainability? Well, biodiversity is the variety of all forms of life, from genes to species, through a broad scale of ecosystems. And sustainability is maintaining the Earth's resources and satisfying the needs of the present without compromising the conditions for future generations. The impacts of sunscreen on coral reefs are that the use of harmful chemicals in sunscreen is damaging our coral reefs, negatively impacting the biodiversity. Chemicals such as oxybenzone and octinoxate are toxic to coral reefs. These chemicals cause coral bleaching, damaging their DNA and potentially killing the coral. They also increase the acidity in the ocean. So, impacts on sustainability and biodiversity is that coral reefs is one of the biggest keystone species for marine environments. They filter out carbon dioxide and serve as a home for many different species of fish and invertebrates. They protect coastlines from storms and erosions. It leads to biodiversity loss if the ocean is polluted with chemicals from the sunscreens that we use. We found an article through the Ocean Foundation, and it stated in 2015 an average of 412 pounds of sunscreen was deposited daily at Hanauma Bay. A small amount of chemicals in the ocean can cause coral bleaching, losing their symbiotic algae energy source. Hawaii became the first state to ban oxybenzone and octinoxate in sunscreen, and it was effective in January 2021, and it states to use sunscreen products with minerals like zinc and titanium oxide. A primary source from the National Center for Biotechnology information states that coral bleaching has negative impacts on biodiversity and the functioning of reef ecosystems. Their goal was to evaluate the potential impacts of sunscreen ingredients on hard corals and their symbiotic algae. They found that sunscreen causes rapid and complete bleaching of hard corals even at extremely low concentrations. I also included this picture that was put together from the NOAA showing the impacts of sunscreen chemicals not only affecting coral reefs but other marine species. It shows how we can protect ourselves and the marine life.
So, the main question is, what is oxybenzone? Oxybenzone is a chemical compound that is the active ingredient in most over the counter sunscreens and other personal care and skincare products. It's a UV ray blocker that is highly effective in slowing the absorption of harmful UVA and UVB rays by the human skin, although in fact it was approved by the United States FDA in the early 1980s. So, not only is oxybenzone found in sunscreen, it is also found in other beauty products such as hairsprays and moisturizers. Sunscreen is also really bad for your human skin and eyes, and is scientifically shown that chemical sunscreen ingredients can be absorbed into the skin, and when struck by UV radiation from the sun, these chemicals can become quite aggressive, increasing the risk of damage. No sunscreen effectively protects the skin from UVA radiation.
A coral bleaching event is when 30% or more of a reef at a certain location is bleached. The reef can recover from bleaching over time, but the rate at which these bleaching events are occurring is increasing. They are being bleached at a faster rate than which they can recover from. Bleaching events were occurring once every 27 years in the 1980s, but that frequency has increased to about once every 5.9 years as of 2016. That's almost a five-fold increase. What actions can you take to help fight coral bleaching? First of all, you need to choose a sunscreen that does not contain oxybenzone or octinoxate. Instead, you should select sunscreens that are composed of safer substances such as zinc oxide and titanium dioxide. These sunscreens use physical blocks rather than chemical ones. They are also better for your skin as well. What can society do to help prevent the bleaching of our coral reefs? Areas like Hawaii and Key West City, Florida, have already banned the sale of sunscreens containing chemicals such as oxybenzone and octinoxate. The UN can go a bit further and ban it on an international scale, as they've done with multiple chemicals used in farming practices that have found to be damaging to the environment.